We gather to remember Yoru, once a master of deception, now a shadow of his former chaos. After countless nerfs, his footsteps got louder, his tricks less convincing, and his impact questioned. Today, we don't mourn his existence, we mourn what he was. The dream of outplaying everyone with style and confusion. Rest in peace, Yoru. Alright, now that that's done, rev up the fryers, Eggster, because I am hungry! If you want to play anything that isn't just Valorant, then why not give literally any other game a chance? This video is sponsored by Aniba, and it's a digital marketplace where you can buy basically anything digital online. Long story short, you're getting things for way cheaper than you normally would on places like Steam. Like, here's Dark Souls 2. It's less than half the price that you would find anywhere else. Or here's the Batman Arkham Collection, which is about 80% cheaper. This place has insane deals. You can also find software on there. There's operating systems, subscriptions to Photoshop, antivirus, Netflix, or even Tinder Gold, which most of you probably need, or even Valorant gift cards. Now, yes, I understand that some other digital marketplaces have had some controversies surrounding their selling methods in the past, but Aniba is a platform. Similar to eBay or Amazon, it's just a way for people to sell their online codes for cheaper. And instead of taking away a max amount of profits at retail value, a lot of these sellers just want to get rid of these codes quick and fast, meaning you get cheap stuff. There's sellers on Aniba that have tens of thousands of positive ratings, and there's countless amounts of guarantees, safety measures, and safeguards in place to make sure you get your money back if anything were to go wrong. So use my link in the description to save a boatload of money on any digital goods that you've been eyeing. Like the Neo Frontier Vandal. It's pretty sick. Ever since Riot beheaded Yoru with his recent nerf, we've only seen this duelist be played one single time in all of VCT. And that's Gen G Unbind. Now, 2 notes about that. 1, I broke that game down on my second channel, link in the description. And 2, yeah, Yoru's been played multiple times since that game, but while I was writing that video, this match was the only one that Yoru's been played in. Now, personally, I don't think that his changes were that bad. He was the strongest agent in the game. And after this patch, I thought he'd just be good now. But I'm not a pro player. I don't practice every day like these guys do. I sit at my screen and write scripts all day until my arthritis kicks in. If Yoru's nerves really weren't that bad, we'd be seeing him, especially from Eggster of all people. This guy has built his entire career by playing one agent from Premier all the way to franchising. And now that he's gone, everyone's favorite streamer's been left in the dust, not knowing what to do next. We've seen him try Omen, Harbor, and worst of all, Veto. Sorry, pause again, but Eggster since then has picked up Phoenix, and he's looked really good on that duelist, but I'm saving that topic for another breakdown. Now, this guy isn't a bad Sentinel. As a matter of fact, I think that Veto is just extremely hard to master, similar to Yoru. But that's the only thing that these two have in common. Meaning that if you take someone who has dedicated thousands of hours to Yoru and just throw him on Veto, you're in for a disaster class like this. No, like literally every setup you're gonna see in this video is pretty troll. Like starting with pistol, how come we're not buying our chokehold? It looks like our goal was to defend double doors, so why not have a lineup like this and make the attackers' lives miserable? At least the rest of his setup isn't too bad. This position provides enough cover for him to TP out into heaven, where he can flood out with his deep high interceptor and help his Astra. But unfortunately, Loud went A.
Shodo gets out of dodge there with a rendezvous, and now we're going to be sending it flying forward to the drones. Verdi as well, putting his body on a line to see if he can get his team into the action, but they're ready, waiting in the wings towards Art, and they have put a stop to the hit entirely. Darker, the only one left alive to do it.
Yeah, it's a strange one there. Loud going for double smokes towards backside instead of smoking off Art, just assuming Luxio could take all that space. Darker was supposed to be the late game backstab. Done a lot of damage there, but a 1v4 would be outrageous, especially with the spike just not under his control.
All lined up. There's one player approaching. I believe that's Demon 1 as well, just to put the dagger to the back in case.
That brings us to Envy's anti-eco. And Eggster's setup here isn't the worst. You know, if he pilots it correctly, it could be pretty good. Spoiler alert, he doesn't. Eggy's team trusted to hold B in their 1-3-1, and Louder headed straight for him. They start by charging through club while their chamber strolls down mid. We see Eggster rip a shot, but that's it. Bro, they have classics and you're behind cover. Fight! Do something, they're gaining up on you.
Gonna be just as difficult in a round like this. Oh my God! my, okay.
Dude, when did Eggster turn into Bitchster? His first teleport isn't the worst, as it allows him to fight for long, get out, and then into heaven. But dude, after you take your first shot, you need to make a decision. Either commit harder to a fight, or get out. Because the closer you let Neon get to you, the harder it's going to be to escape. Instead of teleporting away, Eggster drifted into back hall and only went 1 for 1. A position like this? Not bad if you're chamber, but he's not. Unlike this baguette-loving freak, Veto can't just play out in the open and get out with a snap of his fingers. He has to position himself behind cover or in conventional one-and-dones in order to buy himself time to turn and then teleport, which is what screens is. But sometimes you have to accept the fact that the shot didn't land and leave. Or if Eggster put in any real time into learning this agent like I do over on my Twitch, his setup would look like this. TP on Jenny so we can fight the left lane on long, tuck, get into another off angle, get another, drop, TP out. A pylon and interceptor behind screens so it's hard to shoot, and a trip in any of these 3 spots since his team has 3 stacked mid, and Eggster wins this round for Envy. Instead, it's a 3-on-4, the offense have picked up his Guardian, and Luxo barely escaped with his life in mid. Ross and Kesnet are trying to make a play, but the former gets dropped. Demon 1 runs out from Art to help his Teo in street, but on his way back, Luxo hears his footsteps. He might have a timing.
Here, potentially handing over guns in the process. It's Yuto flying in your face. You can't see a bloody thing, and Rossi limping away from that engagement, and Luxo on the backstab. There's not much in terms of the way to work with here, just trying to create a noise cue. There's no plant down here. They're trying to create a bit of noise and hope that they don't just turn around for this one. Luxo trying to activate on the backstab. It's getting messy. Judge picked up.
Envy were forced to save, and Eggster's setup was bad. His trip was holding B, but the rest of his kit didn't make any sense. One crosscut was in connector, which he never used because he was playing in that area. The other was in B heaven, but it was placed in such a way that it left him exposed to street. Eggster was lucky that he didn't die. Oh, and his signature ability, you know, the one that's free, is tucked nice and neatly and safely into his pocket.
Loud, with better weaponry, completely set up.
Sure.
Are going to control this beautifully.
Yes, of course they are, with Luxo late to the party. Hold on, surely. The guns in your hands, these players weakened and eventually fell. There it is, okay.
Now just imagine for a second, if Egg just had his interceptor pre-placed on him. It could have stalled long enough for Envy to get here and flood in earlier. But instead he used it like a Euro flash. I miss Eggster's Euro so much. Finally, both teams are back on full buys, but this setup is again hot fucking ass. Eggster has 0 teleports, which are broken. If placed right, you can fly across the map and stack sites instantly, kind of like yours. Then this 1-1-1-2 becomes much stronger since Veto can be anywhere in the blink of an eye. But if we can't afford these crosscuts, why are we buying them and using them last round? On a save. At least his interceptor and trip are in existence. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating. This chokehold will cost Envy big time. Lucky for him, it looks like Loud aren't headed for it yet in their 1-1-3. They start the round by darting main, which must get shot instantly. I mean, Collinson doesn't have it in his utility bar. Please give me a replay system. Verdi sprints up and jump spots the angle, baiting out a shot from Kesnet's op. The offense don't want to run into that, so they immediately turn tail and pick up the spike, while their chamber peeks out from double door and the fucking trip gets broken. Fuck! This is a public service announcement. You can throw Veto's trip. It is not an alarm bot. Meaning that if you're a pro player, you should have lineups for better chokeholds like this, or just hold on to it. If the offense never push long, throw it deep so you can go stack other parts of the map. This thing will tell you early enough if it's B and you can come back. Or by hanging it up in street, it'll dodge this common Sova Shock lineup and make Chamber feel uneasy swinging this dry. Oh, lazily just plopping it down in street is not excusable for a professional player. But Teets, he's a Yoru my ass. Eggster had 2 months to prep Veto for this split, and this is what we got? And now street is butt naked. Rossi is too busy using the stealth drone to clear this B long default from the offense, which you wouldn't need if your chokehold was here, while Luxo walks into a timing in a connector. With full A and art info, the op wants to reposition towards B, and Luxo keeps pushing. Eventually he makes it into water, and even the A players back off, knowing that a timing somewhere in mid is possible, but I don't think they're expecting something this deep. Now, because Rossi's stealth drone just saw nothing P, the offense want to go there, expecting that the defense are going to rotate off. But there's still 3 here. Demon 1's calling out how quiet A is.
Massive wedge in the middle of the map that is just unaccounted for right now, Kesnet.
I can't believe no one's even thinking
no
about
one's
this.
thinking about it at all, with it being broken. This is disarray currently in terms of the communication, and back to the world, Kesnit. Not long to the world! Okay, we got it eventually! And picked up the outlaw, or I should say the operator. It's a much bigger one at that. Rossi!
The spike goes down, and Body gets a haircut as he bounces away, and Poppin pins a recon onto this wall to try and catch him. Then Counsin looks at flank. Maybe he thought those shots in recon came from the same guy.
Last player standing.
Demon 1 though. Head filled with lead. Dart gonna be sailing towards the back, but I know that Poppin's not really getting active too much. Immediate reposition, Poppin. He's taking liberties right now. Hopping towards the top of the box, just spotted barely ahead, and that is not the right weapon for the job. It's rare we say that.
Because of Eggster's bad trip, Envy had to save. And you'd think that'd make him consider how he's throwing this thing, right? Nope. It's still right there, holding nothing because his teammates are playing mid. Why not just put it on B? Now, just because they're saving, that doesn't mean Envy are out. These 5 are some of the best aimers on Earth.
Gear up into mid, but hail of bullets. Got to be careful of that one. And, well, Kesnit posturing down, potentially overextending themselves. But Kesnit shining right now currently. Refract back. It's Sheriffs across the board. Why not? Put it on a bit of a show for us today, Envy. Highlight reels and clips abound. Dark is left in a 1v2 and he is quickly surrounded.
So far, Eggster's played a huge role in all 3 of Loud's wins so far, and he ain't done helping them yet. This round, he's defending long in Envy's 1-1-3, and him doing that isn't that bad. Before his nerf, Yura was one of the only agents capable of defending long with his gate crashes that lasted forever. And since there's a decent amount of cover to hide behind, Veto can do it even better if piloted careful enough. Let's see how Eggster handles his 2 customers. His teammates start the round by securing A behind a smoke, and Teo miss. Wait, why is Eggster's interceptor here?
Get a bit of a reset going into this. TP?
Oh,
That was fast enough. Yeah, he wasn't fast enough there. Eggster's revealed. This is a really difficult spot, and Luke Show quick to punish.
Dude, what is the one thing in this comp that fucks your ass? It's KO's knife! So instead of putting your blue ball here, where it's just going to collect dust, put it in this cubby where it can break this knife, dart, and molly! Eggster has just cost his team so much map control. Art, long, it is all gone. So as Demon 1 solos A, Kesnet drops thinking that Loud's rushing B, while Rossi and Poppin leak out from straight as well. Once on site, Poppin drones to clear Eggster's mess. Demon 1 sees nothing, but the offense have gone quiet. Where are they? Well, they spot KO deep and are convinced that Loud aren't hitting B. But he was just breaking it so that Luke Show can move up. The closer he scales, the less he sees. But Envy are set up in a high-low posted on this line, Teo spotting Street, and Demon 1 still bored on A. Crazy how they're gambling Art open after what Luke Show did to them last round. Maybe they're just gambling that Loud don't have the balls to do that again. But since the rest of the map is quiet, Rossi prepares his Armageddon, predicting that the offense are going B. As soon as Body popped his null command, Rossi activated his carpet bomb, which completely threw off the offense's timing. They didn't know if they should go, run, or give up. But Counsin's Hunter's Fury, back from ramp, has kept Loud in this round. Once Darker picks up Body, the offense decide to leave, but is there enough time?
Vamos contact aqui, contact.
B might be free. The attackers run down, lay out their Cosmic Divide, and knife hauls. Counsin sprints through to deny that space, and his ass hairs get trimmed. He has to hold out for Demon 1, so he recons through the wall, it tags, he jump spot spams some shots once, then twice. Perfect. He's bought enough time for his Astra.
Vai pra direita agora, vem. Direita, vem. 3, 2, 1, abre.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
With the way Spike was planted and Demon 1 having his big purple bulletproof wall online, Loud had no choice but to either fight Envy on site or play back and let them defuse. Next round, there was an 8 billion person brawl for A main, where we got to see just a glimpse of classic rankers.
Not taken for now. Pause, but Loud looking to see if they can gear up, but Paddy's way ahead of the rest of his team here. There's no trade intact. Birdie was dropped at a moment's notice. Demon 1 really making a mockery now. He's running all over them here next, but it wants to do it.
Spike down, attacker
Statement of a round here by Envy.
Could have been an overfight, to be honest with you, but they just barrel in. All 3 of them committed in the same way.
That round has forced Loud to talk things over. Good job, guys. Except you, Eggster. What do you think we can do to help set you up this round? I want to get you going. Hold on, coach. My cousin's calling me. Veto, it's Roman. Let's go bowling. Coming out of their timeout, both teams have new game plans. In Envy's 2-3, they know that Loud are going to try and buy conservatively so that if they do lose this round, they can still buy next. That means they're cutting corners by buying half armors instead of full. So, Kez bought an outlaw. From this perch, he's going to try and get one and get out with the protection of Veto's interceptor in case the offense try to run him down. From straight, he's tucked in this cubby and is ready to flood out onto B with this teleport. And now that's the good news. The bad is that he has his other teleport in his pocket and his trip is still ass! If you're going to play here, why not hang your chokehold up on this door somewhere? Then you can fight this lane better. Instead, it's on the floor in art next to Envy's other 3 players who can just pick this up once they're done fighting for A. Or you could find a crazy lineup to cap off an A take. Then your team would never have to watch this lane after taking it. Then you can put a second TP down right when you spawn to make rotating to A easy as cake. Whatever, luckily Loud's only fighting A. To start. The buy bears drop, and we see both teams trade a 0 point for a miss. Wait, did Poppin shock that? Cool. The defender sees control of A main, once capped off with a smoke, but with this rendezvous near his team, Luxio feels comfortable to walk up mid with all that commotion. It's probably weak. And now Envy feel like they've scared Loud away from A, so you see Poppin go B, Rossi dropping a connector to send out his stealth drone to clear out mid. But once Demon 1 hears this all drone, Poppin starts coming back.
Now taking it slow going, using the drone to see if they can take up a bit of space. Demon 1. Trying to take a timing respected. He's in a really unfortunate spot here, but maybe the aim will bail him out. Yes, it will. I think he's able to trade that. I was quick with the response. That's a Hunter's Fury to supplement, but there's a game of timings. Luke Shodo is accounted for. Rossi.
Lucky for Eggster, the trip worked out and got Rossi this kill, and Poppin's ult has ruined the attackers. And now despite being up 4-2, Envy still have a big problem. Earlier, Rossi's Spider spotted Astra in window, and KO was A to start the round. Where did these guys go? Well, to avoid taking it in the rear, Envy decided to back out through water and group up in spawn. Here, they can allow the offense to wander around, waste time, plant, which reveals their position, and then Envy can move in and trade out with their numbers. They wait back here for about 30 seconds before eventually the offense realize that they can't find any kills and go away. Into the outlaw!
An equalizing advantage.
Outlaw, well, okay, he didn't adjust in time there. Let's take it out. Tap, seeing what kinds of Yuto goes forwards. That's a brilliant flash. Supporting Yuto, we were just talking about that Darker! He unleashes!
I can't take this Veto anymore. This Veto's so horrible. You know what could have helped your team from not getting flashed, Eggster? Your interceptor that you left on B. When you pick up this blue ball, it goes on a 30-second cooldown, which is how long you've been in spawn for. Hold on, Teets. You're being too nitpicky. If you think I'm being too harsh, I am not. Don't Cypher mains pick up their camera before they leave? How is this any different? Loud is down 3 players to 2. They have to get aggressive, and Envy know this. That's why they were huddled together in spawn. So had Eggster had his interceptor up to cancel out any of KO's kits, his team would have closed this round out. But I do think it's kind of cool how you can see Loud come up with this plan without even hearing their comms. KO pinged the top of this building, signaling that he was going to flash for Darker to peek. He even tapped the spike to bait Envy into coming out. Have you ever wanted me to personally VOD review your ranked or premier games? Or decide what my next breakdowns are going to be? Well, now you can, because I've just launched my brand new YouTube membership program called The Brain Buds, and each tier is tailored to fit everyone's needs. For just $4.99 a month, you get access to a list of features like the exclusive Brain Buds Discord channels where you can ask or talk to me about anything. I'll even review a round where you think you messed up but can't figure out how. Then at $24.99, I will personally spend an hour a month with you reviewing a VOD from any game you'd like, personal or not, and tell you exactly where everything went wrong. Finally, at the higher tiers, you guys get to pick exactly what games I break down on my main or second channel. But the best feature is special access to the Teets hotline. Talk to me here, and I will do everything in my power to get you whatever you want. Within reason. So if you like my content and want me to keep making more, join the Brain Buds by clicking the button right below this video. What am I looking at, man? Are we seriously just going to jiggle long and TP into heaven? And what is this trip? You can throw this thing to the other side of the world to gather so much info for your team, but instead we put it in connector while our Teo is holding double door? What's the point? And this piss poor setup is about to get run over because all of Loud are running at Eggster. They start by sprinting through club and charge down ramp.
Flash overhead. Verdi as well, he's just leaping into the fray. That's a shot to the shin, and he's barely alive. Still twisting and turning in the air. He's able to escape most of the ire of these fights.
Say it with me, class. Chamber is not Veto. Chamber's not Veto. Good. So why is Eggster fighting Loud out in the open? Then he can't even use his Heaven crosscut because it's just out there. And he flings his second like he's playing Yoru, sending out a gate crash. Just let the man play his favorite agent. Wait, it's not over. Kesnet Saturate stopped the first push, and now it's time for seconds.
Shots fired by Kesnet. Blindly into the smoke, but he might get lucky with one or two.
Demon 1's Gravity Well, combined with Rossi's Guided Salvo, has separated Verdi from his team, and Eggster sat him down. But I think it's funny how Eggster still has his Interceptor off. Like, I know he's suppressed, but surely we turn on the trophy system before we get hit by the KO knife? Only when the offense are out of utility does Eggster finally activate his signature. The only thing he can counter now is a singular shock dart. And as the offense back off, he pops his evolution to regen 25 HP? That's it? Loud doesn't have any ults, flashes, stuns, bitches, or anything. So now we ult? Like, why did we take him off of Yoru? God, I still have to write 3 more rounds of this shit. Okay, so going B didn't work for the offense, so they're backing out and might want to go A. And now the defense don't hear anything after all that commotion, so Poppin sends out his Aldron to investigate, but doesn't spot a soul. Envy decide to spread back out and search for clues. Kesnet's posted along with his op in case someone's dodged the drone, Eggster spotting Street, and Poppin's on his way over to pick up art for Demon 1, who's gathering really early info on A. Which is where Loud are headed!
He's been so confident in terms of how he's taking the fight. Just relying on his aim.
He's got no way to get out of this other than just brute force. More players where that came from, but Kawazima with that recourse style was ready for it. Returns the fire almost immediately. Pop in. This is next time up, and it was Darker in Astral form. He wasn't quite ready to be able to respond.
Poppin has gotten Demon 1's trade, and they've put Envy up 1.5 players. He falls behind Darker's Cosmic Divide, who runs up and starts planning. Now, with Eggster's strip holding connector, him and his team are waiting for the wall to drop before grouping up and trading out. Meaning Loud are down and need to make a play.
They start to engage. Kesnet with residency inside this smoke.
One
In hand, and Luke Shaw going exploring. Luke Shaw, Darker!
Despite winning last round, Envy don't have a lot of money and were able to scrap up another full buy. This is what happens when rounds are close. But having low tier weapons means that you have to make that up with some big brain plays. And here, Envy cooked.
In mid here.
Kesnet, right popped, and he's ready for surely this Verdi! Chops him down, rifle in hand. The rest of his team is not far behind yet. Louder. Quick with the cleanup entirely here, and even just ready for that one. I mean, Ross is just...
Everyone just swung mid-dry. Huh, that's cool. How come I've never thought of that before? I gotta try that in my ranked games. That masterclass forced Envy to save where they stacked A, and lucky for them, that's where Loud wanted to go. The offense split A with 3 in art, but Envy had 4 players in church ready to fight them head on.
Steps in the process. Drone to push forwards here. There's a stack with just classics. There's always danger here because you might be meeting a lot of them right now, or you could be...
These guys could use some church after these last few rounds they've played. And now we're on the final round of the half, and Loud want to slam A while their chamber lurks mid. But man, are they in for a world of hurt, because Envy have their Veto set up in... Dugout. Just why? Yeah, KO has his ult, but why not play mid and have teleport set up to rotate to either side quickly? Then be ready to flood in for a 3-stack with your team and spread out your utility like this. Instead, it looks like we're fighting A and retaking B with Eggster's utility there, I guess? But if that's true, how come he's playing all the way in China while Kesnet's positioned near main? I don't know. Loud start their rush by lobbing a KO flash for Neon to run up, followed up by a deep recon for anyone in Sandwich. So, Envy? What's our plan here?
Steam ahead, everybody's going to be moving forwards now. That is the Hunter's Fury, and a good tag as well from that long-range dart. Kesnet tight to the corner, won't be able to survive it. The shot's going wide, but that's a lot of util used in response. A knife towards the back. Flash overhead, waiting for the right timing on this one, but again, Envy have bodies in the right place. Poppin, putting up a stalwart of a defense, and he has shut them down. The door in their face. Pull where that came from, Team 1 though!
The first part of this revolved around Countin blasting his Harness Fury up sight, while Body ulted so Waylay couldn't escape. That's smart. Then Verdi slid out behind a flash as Loud's second wave of utility came in. Trades went down, Poppin got 3, leaving him in a 1v1. But none of Envy have seen Chamber all round. He could be anywhere.
Late lurk activating, surely there's a level of awareness. Knife out for Poppin! He doesn't have a clue!
Now, at this point, you guys might not believe me when I say that I'm actually a huge Eggster fan. I really was rooting for Envy when they had their original 5 players, and I was hoping and praying that by the time Ian and Kane's era turned of age to play in VCT, that they'd be together and we could actually see what rankers would do in Tier 1 Valorant. And it's not like every round Eggster's veto usage was bad, it was just most, if not all of them, whatever. Like on the second half pistol, Eggy opted to buy a teleport and a bandit over a trip. Their plan was to fake B pressure and then walk up A, which they were able to do with Poppin Recon landing long, his drone tagging Chamber, and finally his bullets pushing him back. The defense 4-peaked mid, similarly to how Envy did before, but here they used a flash. And the offense had no idea that Loud were flanking them this hard. The offense funneled in, and Eggster teleported out into the open. And now this really isn't the worst. Veto can pseudo entry for his team by flinging his crosscuts into parts of sites that have natural cover. So if it was Envy's plan to double enter with Waylay and Veto, fine. But I doubt it with Poppin trying to sell a fake all on his own.
Good, that knife just makes it feel like they are not in A main at all.
Cancels the drone.
Oh wait, no, they're pushing.
Hold on, they're pushing into this one with the smokes. It dissipates, and not ready for that. So shortly in the hands of Luxo, and he picks up a bit of an upgrade. Loud now activating right from the main avenue. And Baddy just swings in from the side to put the business into the man. That is bullets into the bodies.
Yeah, a trip would have been nice. Okay, but let's find a round that he did play Veto well on. No, not this one. No, certainly not that. Oh, here we go. Envy have converted their first full buy, but it was expensive. Several of their members had to cut corners and buy Guardians, Bulldogs, or be naked this round. Their plan is to split A with 3 going up art, but 2.5 up main. And now where is that half coming from, you might ask? Well, because Veto isn't tethered to his interceptor and his crosscuts have a long range, he can place his interceptor here during the buy phase, turn it on when it drops, and this will protect his A main players while he scales mid. And no matter what Loud throw at these two, they'll have Eggster's protection. Or if they need help, Eggster can be here in the press of a teleport. And his kid might see some action, because Loud have 3 players here, all with zappable abilities. The buy phase ends, and Rossi immediately fires a missile in a connector, clearing a path for his teammates to dash down mid. In the meantime, the defense have smoked and reconned A main, claiming that space, but once Loud hears these guys stampeding down art, they realize that they're being pinched.
Verti will be forced to respect Kesnin. What is this timing that he's taken? It's going to be that saturate layer down at his feet to ensure that there is no follow-up towards it. Inside the smoke, trying to again layer it down with bits and pieces, portions of the rifles. Dark is being squeezed from every single avenue, and he's feeling the panic in that moment.
Really nice reaction from Envy to go back and help Rossi there.
Once Loud realized that they were being crunched, Countin and Darker tried pushing through A main, but got traded, and Rossi fell back, letting his other 3 teammates run in and complete the split. Had he died, Loud could have leaked out and gotten away. And now Eggster's TP, Interceptor, or Trip didn't really do anything this round, but the setup was nice. I just wish he threw his Trip up against this wall as soon as the bomb started to deter anyone from peeking, or even past it for potentially more info. But it's capped off a lot of space and might catch a bite.
Shotgun wide, operator missing for Luxo here, and he's going to be finished off. Batty already revealed of his position.
Yeah.
Triggered the trip.
Nothing to be done here. This was Loud's opportunity to put some real pressure down, but they themselves in a lot of an economical squeeze. Oh man, that's not what you want to see.
Where's that one going? To the moon, but it happens anyway, and it works out.
Yeah, give it.
Yeah, Eggster's Veto wasn't great, but Paper X's was. They put on a Veto masterclass, and I put that video right here for you guys. You should click it.